you hear December, you think of Christmas, you think of chickens, but we don't know what this year is going to look like for Christmas. Well, the year has not been or not been a very jolly ride all through the year. So definitely, but I know there will be some form of celebration, at least for the gift of life. To this very point, we're going to be celebrating the gift of life. I won't be doing the newspaper review alone this morning. I have in the studio with me Ademi Adeolu. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
It's always my
How has been the week?
Oh, well, it's been fantastic.
Fantastic.
So fulfilling.
That's important. Thank God for that. All right, go straight into the dailies that we have this morning. And Zamfara denies owning gold mining field. Vaccines ongoing in yellow fever endemic areas. This is coming from the minister. And South Summit, the Pan Niger Delta Forum attacks federal government, says cancellation and insult. All right, the National Assembly joined in 50 billion naira suit against Buhari's lopsided appointment, and federal government ASU resumes meeting Friday. I actually saw it was indicated later as fake news with regards to ASU calling off the strike. I saw the letter this morning, but digging more into it, finally got to my information that it's actually fake news, because I was almost getting excited that, oh my God, they finally reached an agreement. But then just getting deep into it and realized, oh, this is not true. But let's hope at least all this will end by the end of this year. All right. The Guardian paper has it: anger as federal government eyes 200 billion naira ideal funds, and Labour in dilemma over tariff hike. And Federal Executive Council OK's new finance bill rules out increase in taxes. Governor Makinde declares Amotekun's operational with 1,500 officials in Oyo State. UN votes $100 million to tackle hunger in Nigeria and 6 others. Anambra transporters decries rising robbery adoption on highway. This is on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And also Osun pensioners protest over unpaid entitlements. The This Day newspaper has the headline: Presidency expressed regret over botched meeting with South leaders. Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria's take over Jimoh Ibrahim's asset over alleged 69.4 billion naira debt. How would one man owe such an amount of money as that? All right. 2023, turn your tweets to vote. Dabire Riwa urges youth, and that's the motive right now. By first quarter of 2021, there's going to be fresh registrations for permanent voters card. So please, every young person, get ready to ensure you get one. All right. The Nation newspaper, Federal Accounts Allocation Committee shares 604 billion naira to federal, states, and council. Inspector General, we are using community police to restore police and public confidence. Transporters threaten nationwide strike over highway abduction and robbery. The Federal Executive Council approved Finance Bill 2020, and the pen pushing fake contractors in Crime Commission net over 1.8 billion naira scam. And professor arraigned for election fraud, another accused goes into hiding. These are the headlines across board this morning. Do well to be part of the newspaper review by sending us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. I think I'd like to start off with the headline with Amotekun. In Oyo State, the governor of Oyo State, Makinde, inaugurates Amotekun, confident on state police. The headline is on the Punch newspaper this morning. And I think Oyo State has just been on the forefront of just trying to make everything right. The governor of Oyo State has just been leading by a lot of examples. I think of all of the states that had major casualties during the NSAS protest and the aftermath of the NSAS protest, Oyo State was one of the states that managed the crisis in one of the most very formal way, apart from when there was a police station that got burned because of the officers who were trigger happy, and that happened in one part. But the Oyo State governor has been putting himself in a very relatable platform with his people.
Yeah, you see, the governor has so many things going for him. One, don't forget that Oyo State, as it's been known over the years, has always been the pace setter of Nigeria when it comes to development. Yeah, they always been the pace setters.
What about Lagos?
No, they are center of excellence, like we all know. Okay. But when it comes to being saying, certain things being put in place,
okay,
they are all being the one, the first person, the first state to do that. Looking at cocoa and all other infrastructures there, Having said that, Kudos to Governor Makinde, and don't forget he's a young man.
Pretty,
So
yeah.
with that, he's able to see better
Okay.
than the other ones, and you should know that this governor, to some extent, is selfless.
Okay.
You know, all things, everything we are talking about is being selfless, and at the same time, for you to prioritize the
Okay.
interest of your citizen. So that's what has been playing out in the way our Governor Makinde has been managing Oyo State.
Okay.
He is prioritizing his people, their lives, and their properties.
Okay.
So that's why, because you know that with the state of Nigeria now, insecurity everywhere, and he have that better understanding that he
Yes.
needs to bring in the Amotekun,
All right.
so that if the police have refused to perform their constitutional duty, then there must be a replacement, or some. Let me say, I wouldn't say a total replacement,
Okay.
but an alternative to provide security for the people.
Let me pause your thoughts there, because you use the word alternative to provide security for the people. That is, I'm a little concerned about the word alternative.
Oh, well.
Because
No, don't let us use the word
synergy.
no, don't let us use the word alternative to
Okay.
complement.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the best.
So, but then how do we achieve that synergy? Because over time, I remember at the earlier time when we started having this conversation on the establishment of Amotekun, you were very for it, that we need this kind of security.
Yeah.
You supported the state governors, Southwest governors, in establishing this. But do you think the Southwest governors have been able to establish that synergy that is needed between the existing Nigerian police force and the bringing up of the State Security Network Agency?
You see, it's a two-way thing. We have to look on the part of the police,
okay,
and the governors. Have them both be sincere? If they are both being sincere, the synergy will work out. But on the ground where one wants to dominate the other, I'm forgetting that there's an act established one, and the law of the state also established another. You understand? It is for them to come into terms, to have a better understanding how to operate and how to relate with one another.
At this time where there is a lot of heat with regards to security in the whole country, not just we concentrate on security with regards to the northern part of the country, but right now there's a total heat on the Nigerian police force. What role does the IG have to play in ensuring that there is synergy from his men, the boys in the police force, and aligning with the state-owned law of providing the security agents?
Even before we delve into that, talking about the synergy between the established state police and the Nigerian police, you see, one thing that the IG has got missing, is that he has not been honest. That is the reason why you have the state of the nation this way. If only the IG has owned up and be honest with the situation of things, I tell you, the tension in Nigeria will have doused down, and I swear the police will have come back in force and perform their constitutional duty. But however, as it is now, the IG and the state governors, they must come to terms, and I think that's what is playing out actually, because I know that for Amotekun to now take their place in your state, there must have been some understanding between the police, that's Oyo State Police, and the Amotekun outfit. And that will have been orchestrated by the governor of the state, that's Makinde, Sheyi Makinde. And when you look at it very well, like I said they are there to complement the police. They are not taking away the constitutional responsibility of the police. No, they are not. What they are only doing is, where the police are not available, they will stand in there for the police, so that there'll be security.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's quickly take a little bit of the story, because I'm still going to dwell a little bit on the Nigerian police. Governor Sheyi Makinde on Tuesday yesterday inaugurated, that was the first day, inaugurated the Oyo State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun, warning them against harassment, extortion, and other vices. Speaking at the passing out parade of the Corps in Oyo State, the governor, who said the Amotekun Corps would work with the Nigerian police force, added that the security outfit established to fight kidnapping, cultism, and those destroying the means of livelihood of others. The governor expressed hope that someday there would be support at the federal level for a review of the constitutional need of the establishment of state police. He had the first batch of 1,500 Amotekun Corps would be deployed in all the wards in the state so that residents at every nooks and cranny of the state would feel their impact. Makinde said the Western Nigerian Security Network, called Amotekun, is an independent outfit. Members will answer to the state governors, but they will be working with the federal security agencies, which is, of course, the Nigerian police, military, and alongside every other parties. But let's take this headline on the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper has the headline. He has the headline here that says, Inspector General of Police Mohammed has said the loss of confidence between the police and the Nigerians was one of the major challenges hampering effective discharge of force responsibility. The headline is on the Nation. It says IGP Nigerians have lost confidence, trust in us. Now, he said introduction of community policing was part of the effort aimed at rebuilding the lost confidence. Adamu was represented at the policy dialogue on policing organized by the House of Representatives to collate views on the bills to amend the Police Service Commission Act by the DIG Olushola Oyebande. Said the management of the police was working on regaining public trust. Now, he also said that we all know that constitutionally the police have legal right to live and legally speak. The Constitution guarantees a position where they can even use their firearm to defend themselves when the situation demands. Within all that, we have asked them not to do anything that would bring loss of to members of the public. Now, understanding the law and interpreting the law is there, but interpretation of the law is also very important. One of the situations that has, I think, globally that is still being dealt with is the fact that police have shot at harmless individuals. We've seen that happen in various places. We've seen where officers have taken laws into their hands, and even till this day, we've not even heard anything. There's a video I saw of some with the then disbanded SARS officers who shot two men in broad daylight, and said, let's waste them, leave and make I waste them. That was the language used in that video. With the trust being lost in the Nigerian police force, and now that state governors like Oyo State has decided to not waste any more time in the protection of the lives of his people, set up Amotekun. The amendment of this police act, what would it mean for Amotekun?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a laudable idea. It's going to add more to Amotekun, the establishment of Amotekun,
Okay.
because that's where the community policing will come in. And like we rightly said, Amotekun is more like a community policing that we have in the western region of Nigeria.
Okay.
The IG, like I said, the only mistake that he made initially is that when the NSAS protesters were calling for the NSAS, yes, it came up, he dissolved them.
Okay.
But he ought to have prosecuted those officers that were being pointed as the culprits. Let me say culprit, let me use the word alleged to have committed those crimes. You should have brought them to the fore, investigate about them, try them, make it public. With that, the people, Nigeria as a people, will have confidence in the police. But because he has not been able to do that, and after this NSAS, all the stories that have been going around has not helped the matter.
Okay.
But now, thank God that he's coming, that he's now taking he's dancing to the tune, little by little, saying community policing is imperative now.
Yes.
And it's going to be a sort of a trust between the people and the police, knowing fully, having that clear understanding now that the people have lost their confidence in the Nigerian police. But, they can always get it back.
So how, that's
the only way they can get it back is to come up and try those police officers.
Okay.
That's the only way. Nothing short of that. You know why? Okay, what's the agitation? Until you are able to answer to that agitation, to that protest, the essence of the protest, until you are able, by the time you say, okay, this is a problem,
Okay.
By the time you provide a solution to it, that problem solved, you move ahead.
Hmm.
But if the solution is not provided to the problem, you still remain in the same place. Or you only be rising around the whole thing instead of you to move ahead. So until the IG and the executive of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the legislatures and even the judiciary, until they all come to terms, and the state governors, and understand that this NSAS, especially the trial of those police officers that held constitutionally by acting ultra vile,
Hmm.
extrajudicial killings of the citizen, corrupting the citizen, collecting their money, maltreating them, doing a lot of, so many atrocities were committed by these officers.
Hmm.
I think there's one particular officer somewhere in the east. They
Yes.
said he killed a lot of people. It should be investigated. This is what we are saying. If you could do that, and the people over there could see that, that confidence will be reposed.
Hmm. If the man is brought to book,
Yeah,
tried, and judgment is
you see,
passed.
the confidence will be there that we have our people are for us.
Hmm.
But you're not doing it. You're just coming with rhetorics. It's not going to work. Words without action. Bro, effort in futility.
Hmm. All right, thank you. 070-317-56537 is the number to send in your text or WhatsApp message. 070-317-56537 is the number to send in your text or WhatsApp message to be part of the conversation here this morning. All right, I want to take this headline with regards to Gbajabiamila Mila's 6 UN partnership on electoral reforms and others. This representative, Femi Gbajabiamila, on Tuesday met with Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, where they discussed issues on exploring partnership in critical areas. A statement issued on Wednesday by the Special Advisor to the Speaker and Publicity, Lanre Lasisi, said Gbajabiamila and Mohammed also discussed issues relating to electoral reforms, gender-based violence, enabling environment for more women in politics, improvement of public finance management system, managing Africa's debt crisis, as well as improving social investment and social protection system in Nigeria. It was titled Gbajabiamila Amila Meets UN Deputy Secretary General Mohammed, discuss social economic development, among others. Also, the speaker said he looks forward to working with the Office of the UN Department and also the UN Resident Coordinator take things, looking at them taking things forward. But the issues that were discussed there are fundamental issues of why we have these people in the National Assembly, looking at electoral reforms, looking at creating more enabling environment for women in politics, looking at gender-based violence, improving public financial management system. These are the fundamental reasons why these people have been elected into office.
Yes, that's right.
And why is it on electoral issues that we now need help?
You see, we have problem, and our problem is that we don't face our problems. You can't have a problem in the house, and you not go and call an outsider to come and solve that problem for you. Where all the machineries and every act to solve that problem, you are holding it. How would it work? That was the same thing that happened with the Boko Haram. When the United States of America military were running, by the time they came in and saw the whole thing, they said they can cope with the situation, with the atmosphere. So they left. And looking at us, the National House of Assembly, you see, until they are selfless, until we forget the fact that I must rule by force, until we are able to take away money from our polity. You know what I'm saying in essence is that if we do not, put much money into governance, I'm talking in terms of their take home.
Okay.
You won't see any need for you to go there because you see that it's not a place that you are going to make your billions like they do now. But you know that you're going there is to serve. So as it is, They are only asking the UN just for you to hear, but they know what to do.
Mm.
It's just for it to be in the news. And we have forgotten that the so-called international bodies, Africans as a whole, it's not only Nigeria, it's the whole of Africa that is affecting.
Yes.
What's affecting us is that we don't want to look for a way out, how to solve our own problem. We always want people to come and solve our problem. And we have said that African problem is peculiar.
Okay.
Nigerian problem is peculiar.
Mm.
You can't solve the way they solve their own problem with the way you're going to solve your own problem because of the peculiarities.
Mm.
And now, Nigeria, what are we doing as a people and the House of Assembly, the executive?
Okay.
What are the things that we are putting in place that this thing may work? Now, when you talk about electoral reforms, what are the anomalies in the electoral reforms? What are the things that we have been agitating for, we have been clamoring for, we have been saying should be taken away from this system?
Okay.
We are talking about rigging. Why are the people rigging it? Are they not the same person? Then the best thing they could do when you want electoral reform, the National House of Assembly is the reason why they are there, and the reason why they are being paid that much and they are defending is for them to give us laws that will protect all these harms of governance, that will protect every act that
Yes.
we do in Nigeria, both omission and commission.
Mm.
But they are not doing it. And you are not asking Amina Mohammed to relate to the United Nations. Bro, he's out of it.
Mm. Well, let's move away from there for a moment and talk about labor right now. A lot of people are concerned about the power of labor with regards to the suspension of the strike. The Nigerian labor movement appears to have finally lost the battle. This is according to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian put it as labor in dilemma over tariff hikes. The Nigerian labor movement appears to have finally lost the battle to stop tariff hikes in two critical sectors of downstream petroleum and electricity. Niger Delta Youth Council yesterday threatened to shut down oil production over increase in pump price of the premium motor spirit (PMS). This was in a statement by the Niger Delta Youth Council General Ebi Tamuno. In a statement, said that there was no justification for worsening the plight of Nigerians through persistent hike in price of fuel. It said, given the existing economic realities, COVID-19 and the NSAS issues that put the country out of productivity in various forms, it would be a policy aberration to allow any form of price increase in electricity tariff, fuel pump price, because it would impact negatively on Nigerians. And these were his words. It says, we make bold to state that it is an affront on the survival of Nigerians who are already finding it hard to feed on daily basis, to be made to suffer from years of bad governance. We will not hesitate to stand for the rights of the Niger Deltans in particular and Nigerians in general. What is labor? What can I use the word magic that labor can pull through? Because now labor has been quiet since the conversation around the tariff hike, especially for the PMS, has been having this uproar. This is December. We're close to the festive season. And when there is a pricing hike of fuel, what automatically means is transport get expensive. Transport is already expensive. Things in the market are expensive. I was in the grocery store 2 weeks ago to do some shopping for my place, and I done buying what I regularly buy, and I have a budget which I always believe it to cover it. But then I see myself and I'm looking at the bill on the screen and saying, this is not, something is wrong somewhere. Can I go through the bill? And I'm checking it and seeing that prices have gone up by 100, 200, some as much as 300% increase.
You're not lying. We discussed about this labor, negotiating for us some times ago when it comes to this particular issue we are talking about now. The price, the hike in petroleum, and the hike in electricity bill.
Yes.
The labor, let me just tell you this. They don't have the word. They've lost it. The only way out is for you and I, Nigeria as a whole. When I went to the filling station to get fuel into my car when I was driving out sometimes, and I saw that something has changed, I was not looking. The first day, second day, I do tell my wife, I say, We are not talking in this country. What kind of people are we? And so the hiking electricity tariff. Is this how we are going to live with it? No. These people, what they are telling us, they are saying it to our face that you people are idiots, you are cowards, you can't do anything. What we do is what we do. We know that you can't cry. And the only people that came out to cry, they've shut their mouth by intimidating them.
Would
The
a strike
youths.
would a strike action from the Nigerian Labour Congress
It's
and the
not.
trade union
It's not
Congress?
the strike. It is Nigerian people to stand up because we always compromise. Okay, tell me why is it that it has to get to this level? Over the time that the labor has been saying they are coming out, they will come out. They will tell you, by Tuesday we are coming out.
Okay.
The next day you will hear that they are into conversation with the agencies of the government. Before you know it, that one goes.
Okay.
The next they'll say, next 2 weeks, if the demands are not met, we're coming out. Have you seen them coming out? No. You see, until the people rise up to the occasion.
As much as I want to agree with you, Mr.
It is our right. We have to fight for our right.
I agree that it's our right. But collectively, we are also using this platform. I remember when I was pretty younger, when there was a labor strike that lasted for about 7 days.
We are talking about Oshimole's
time,
yes.
Right? But if we all have to always go out on the streets to demand this right, I know there are times like when we all came out en masse with answers, young people came out.
Yeah.
But that's the whole essence of having the Nigerian Labour Congress.
And when they are not
for the demands of the people,
when they are not doing it, you see, when somebody ought to perform a duty and is not performing it, then the onus is now on you.
Okay.
Who is feeling the heat?
Okay.
To stand up and do what is necessary.
Okay.
We are talking about necessary here. What is the necessary now? The necessary is that Nigerians should stand up and ask for the reduction. Because now, you see what our government does not understand. The government believes that when they say a flourishing economy,
okay,
our government, maybe they don't have their understanding that the flourishing economy is not economy based on what the government is doing. No.
It's based on how the people.
It's based on the production by the people of the country.
Yes.
That is what is called a flourishing economy.
I was reading a book some time ago, and then the man said a country where politicians are richer than entrepreneurs is heading for doom.
It's calamity on its own. Not heading for doom, it's calamity. Because why? Now, let's take a look at it now. Tell me, how many industries, how many production companies are in Nigeria? Now, your policy, what they need to do is policies. What is the kind of policy they need to implement? Friendly policies, investment friendly policies. Okay, now which area we're talking about in terms of fuel now? You know, the moment there is fuel increase, it affects all the sectors of the economy because of transportation.
Yes,
that is one aspect. We're talking about electricity. Electricity is what is being used by production companies, even servicing companies
need electricity
to power their productions. Now you are making it, taking it away from the reach of these people. That means the cost of production is going to skyrocket. Then, by the time those people see that they cannot thrive in the atmosphere of that economy, they will leave. That's why you have seen over the time big companies leaving Nigeria to other nations of the Africa. You know, because of this our kind of really government that we are having. I don't know when our government will be realistic. I always ask that question.
Talking about government being realistic, there's a headline on the This Day newspaper that says governors COVID-19 almost ruined governance and development in Nigeria. I want to quickly take a bit of that headline. Governors of the 36 states of the Federation yesterday highlighted challenges forced on them by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to them, the pandemic almost ruined governance and the economics of the state. The chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, in person of Governor of Ekiti State, and also that's Dr. Khalid Fahmi, while hosting the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, yesterday in Abuja, added that the states were severely affected as many could not meet their obligations to workers and others. Mohammed visited the forum as part of her tour to some of the West African countries, including Ghana, Sierra Leone, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria. Fayemi also said that although the virus hit Nigeria in March, later than other countries, the country had over 69,000 confirmed cases and about 1,154 deaths. Other impact, he said, included the fall in oil price, contrasting tax base, loss of source of livelihood, unemployment, youth restiveness, increase in inflation rate, worsening exchange rate, and decline in productivity due to necessary lockdown measures initiated globally and nationally. So when I thought of this headline, I read it through, and something at the back of my mind was giving these governors a reason to justify what they're saying. Now, this is why I say this, right? The governors did not assume office. At least we have about 70% of the governors did not assume office until 2019. So they were barely a year into office when they were hit by the coronavirus pandemic. And then we already understand that there was already a dilapidating structure with regards to how we have managed our economy. And so I want to sort of say the governors could be right or are right in the sense to say that they were almost ruined, they almost ruined governance and development because a lot of these governors came into into this position, quote and unquote, with developmental plans, poverty alleviation plans, employment plans, but they came in 2019, right? Coming in 2019 and barely 1 year and a few months in 2019. Or I'd just say it was a year because the coronavirus hit us in March. Elections were February. Some states even had elections later on in the year. So some governors had not even settled in when the coronavirus hit them.
Daniel, you see, there will always be excuses. When you don't want to do something, there will always be excuses. Talking about Dr. Fayemi relating all that happened due to the COVID-19, were there no allocations from the federal government to the states? When he says that the economy of the states were paralyzed, is it talking in terms of the economy which they execute as a government or the people? Do you understand?
Okay.
If they are talking about the economy of the economy of the government was still in place because the allocation was still coming in. That's one fact. Talking about the economy of the people, that's where we cannot talk. And talking about the economy of the people, where are those money, those allocations, those donations?
Okay.
What were they able to do to these companies, to these individuals that are being hit by this COVID-19 that they could not go out to perform their daily businesses? What were they able to do? Nothing. Okay, we saw what about the case of the palliative? They were to be distributed to the citizens. You see that these are our people.
The governor said that the palliatives that were being kept were in preparation for the second wave.
Excuse me. Are they expecting second wave? Are they? You see that they were contradicting themselves. Some said they were distributing, that they just got the consignment.
Okay.
By the time America and other European countries were not talking about second wave, the moment they had that word second wave, they took it up. And they said, oh, it's second wave. We are keeping it. The first wave, you have not dealt with it. The people are still suffering under the first wave. No food, no money, everything is grounded. And you said you have this thing in stock, you are preparing it, you are saving it for the second wave. What if the second wave does not come?
But it has started in some other parts of the world.
But no, excuse me. We are saying it has started in other parts of the world. Yes. But don't forget that those other parts of the world, it was, they were always counting. It's just that it was minimal. Suddenly it just soared. That's what they are talking about.
Yes.
It's because of the surge that's talking about the second wave. But in Nigeria, excuse me, talking about the ratio compared to other world, my brother, Nigeria has no problem. And that second wave you are talking about, let second wave come. You'll be able to prepare as well for it. Don't prepare what you ought to give them in the first wave that you did not give them. So suppose, okay, are those people, if they have all died, would they be able to hit the second wave? With the second wave? The first wave, you have not dealt with it.
Okay.
They could have died because of the first wave. So why are you keeping it? Why not give them to ameliorate everything in their life? You have, it's meant for you to cushion them. That's why the likes of Dangote, Femi Tedola, and others that gave them these
Funds.
funds, gave them so that you could meet the needs of the people, because they know that at this point in time it will be difficult for people. Most people don't have what to do, especially Nigerians that we engage so much in commerce, trade and commerce. If you don't go out, you don't eat. You understand? So what are we not talking about? What's the second wave?
Let's take some messages. 070-317-56537. Do well to send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537 to be part of the conversation. 21 minutes to 9 on the radio. I have Adeyemi Adeolu with me in the studio. My name is Daniel Adaja. This is the newspaper review. Let's get your comments this morning. P. Dasa in Ogun State says, I consider Nigeria a nation of pretenders. We pretend as if it's all well. Meanwhile, Nigeria is the only country that in the world governed by cabals. The president or the head of state is not in control, yet everyone behaves as if all is well. The country is where the leaders propagate one thing while another thing is happening on ground. Is this a case of helplessness or inaction on the part of the citizens? In all, I can conveniently conclude that we are strange people. P. Dasa in Ogun State. All right. Ife Oluwa in Ikeja says the coach is not better than the local coaches that we have. All right, I'm not sure this message is for us. All right. Mr. Monday in Aripo says leaving of any southeastern governors to APC party is gain to presidential ticket 2023 is a dream that will not come to reality. If they like, let all the governors run to APC party. The target is 0. All right, Mr. Monday. Okay, we're going to take that headline shortly because it's already beginning to spark a lot of conversations. We're hearing so much about it. This is coming in from pretty long. Ezekiel from Ikeja says, I am part of the NSAS protesters, and frankly, we got it slightly wrong. When the protest started, the federal government responded on time. The IG came live and dissolved the SARS days after the president accepted the 505. Where we got it slightly wrong is that we should have ended the protest and given the government time to see if they would keep to their promise. And if they fail, we would then come back to the roads and protest again. We refused to leave the road. The demands began to change from NSAS to NSWAT to Buhari should resign and all what now. We were actually carried away. I am being sincere here. This was what happened, that the protest was hijacked by thugs and politicians. All this carnage we're experiencing now should have been would not have happened if we had called off the protest timely. All right, this comes from Ezekiel in Ikeja. All right, let's take this one. It says our leaders fail to realize something. When you fail to pitch tent with the people in terms of good governance and welfare policies and programs, you have implicitly accepted the consequences. All right, this is coming in from Sam in Ikotun. All right, Maynard's case is not a big issue. Immunity covers them all from the size of the divide. On the Southern Governors meeting that was avoided by uh, the people in governance, we can see how impunity has taken its stand on venting their power on the South, all because they don't want to hear the truth, but the truth must surface. For Omayi, he has taken his destiny to dine and wine with the professional liars called government. I wish him well, and he's becoming the next billionaire. If you're a sinner, go to APC, and your pocket will be filled to the brim. Makandi in Ibafo. All right. It's coming in from Israel in Ogijo says there is insincerity on our national security by the choice of Buhari's appointment. In every security meeting in Asorok, it is within Buhari's kingsmen. Whenever there is a security meeting, the only non-kingsman among them is Oshibajo, who has always been sent out by Buhari. What does that signify? I want to remind every Nigerian that what is ahead a few years of this governance is more subtle. Actions and prayers are needed. Electoral law by Bajabi Amila made the future election not be worse than the present. What is Tanko waiting for? What is INEC Chair Mohammed going back there for? Is Bajabi Amila and Ahmed Lawan saints? Pump price, I just saw where a man said he's under pressure to buy Warrior and PH refinery. The same man almost all politicians hid under him building Lagos refinery. Nigeria is heading somewhere. All right, Israel in Ogijo. Well, let's take this one. The clash between the tax force and Okada riders yesterday is a pointer to the fact that Nigerians are lawless, indisciplined, and irresponsible. Okay, there is no clear difference between them and the policemen who engage in brutality. Nigerians need total attitudinal change. I don't see reasons why we should discuss the defection of some political parasite from one party to another. Okay, the Nigerian youth, especially the protesters, should use their head in 2023. Rosen Jemutu in Alakbere. 07031756537 is the number to send in your text and your WhatsApp message to be part of the conversation here this morning. All right. Yes, there is the president yesterday. I was supposed to have a meeting on Tuesday with South governors, which did not happen. And the South governors have actually demanded a public apology from the presidency with regards to why they cancelled the meeting after calling the meeting. And then key stakeholders were not in that meeting, like Amici. Akpabio was said to have walked into the meeting when the meeting was being rounded off. And they, what's your take on this? Although the presidency has responded as of this morning. The presidency yesterday expressed regrets over the failure of the presidential delegations to honor a scheduled meeting with governors and leaders of the South slated for Port Harcourt on Tuesday. The meeting was at the instance of the president, so the president called for the meeting, right? So the president was the one who called for it. It attributed the absence of the delegations, which necessitated the last-minute cancellation of the meeting, and drew the anger of the South leaders to the timing conflicting with the Emergency National Security Council meeting, which was held at the State House on Tuesday, the same day the president called for a meeting with the South governor. The chief of staff to the president, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, who was supposed to be on the delegations to the Port Harcourt meeting, participated in the Security Council meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. The South Governors Forum, chaired by Delta State Governor Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, hicked on the non-appearance of the presidential delegations, had demanded an unreserved apology from the presidency for what they considered as a shabby treatment of the South leaders. Well, what do you make of this situation?
It's in two ways. The presidency calling for the stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, for them not to honor it. And though given the excuse that they gave, that is due to an emergency security matters that has to be treated. And at the same time, they apologized, saying they are sorry for the inconveniences and everything. They regretted it. Yes. But on the other hand, Gambari, who is the chief of staff, that is one of the representatives, how many are they that are meant to be there, that are representing the federal government? There's the numbers of people that are going to form the forum in the NEC meeting? No. So there is no reason why they should not be in Port Harcourt, Amici and the likes, and Gambari. That's why you see the governors of the state say no, that it is wrong, that they must come open and apologize. And more so, the meeting was being fostered by the federal government, not the state themselves. So that's
upon by
so
Mr.
everything
President.
They should have a pre-knowledge
Okay.
of whatever is going to happen. And if the moment they see that, they will at least, bro, we are in a global world. There is a telephone that could be put across to the governors so that they won't go to the venue and be waiting unnecessarily.
They could have done it in their individual stage via Skype or Zoom,
anyway,
any platform.
Even if they have to call it off, they will have put a phone call through to them. That sorry, will not be able to make it. There's an emergency meeting that is being called by the president that we need to attend at this hour. They will understand. And you will explain the reason. And you will tell them the kind of meeting that you're attending. They will be able to say, after all, they are Nigerians. And when you're talking about the security of Nigeria, it also has to do with the Southeast and South governors. So they will understand. But you not doing that, now coming afterwards to then say you regretted it. No, it's a deliberate act to some extent. But we can't continue to say, okay.
Can we say it's deliberate, or can we put it in terms of
an omission?
not necessarily an omission. Would I say yes? Let's use the word omission.
Yeah, if you say it's an omission, is it an omission with an intent? These are the questions that we need to ask. And when you look at it critically, it was an omission with an intent. Why? Because you know that you are going to have a meeting. You should have called them. That's not an oversight.
Okay.
You call for the meeting. If I call you, Adan, I want to have a meeting with you, and I realize that I will not be able to make it, I should call you back and tell you, Dan, sorry, that meeting will not be able to hold. I have this and these exigencies to make up with. Then you will understand, okay, after all, I'm the one that called for the meeting.
True.
But not after you are now at the venue of the meeting and I decided to call you. I'm showing my power over you.
All right, let's take a few messages here. Otumba Muyiwa Oladele in FCIB Lagos says the future of Nigeria is in our hands. All hands must be on deck to bail our country from the jaws of cabals. Journalists, youths, political leaders, professionals, Democrats, we must all rise up and demand for good governance. We are only suffering in the face of plenty. We need good managers or in governance to take Nigeria to the next level of greatness. The present leadership has failed us. God save Nigeria. Otumba Muyiwa Oladele sending us that message. Akin from Ikorodu says, let them make stiffer penalties for corrupt politicians instead of going after poor masses who are suffering because of greedy politicians. Greedy politicians is the problem of Nigeria. Greedy people in power destroying any system, but people of integrity will advance it. Okada issue is a small problem compared to the greedy politicians in Nigeria. Security forces should be careful because it's the thugs that will cause a violent protest. And this time they will come for the politicians. The next protest won't even be called a protest. It will be called Nigerians Already Know. All right, this is Akin from Ikorodu. All right, 07031756537. We have to wrap up the newspaper review in a bit right now, but let's quickly take what's happening in some states where transporters have threatened nationwide strike over highway abduction and robbery. This is happening. The transporters operators with headquarters in Onitsha, Anambra State, have lamented increasing cases of kidnapping, robbery, attack along major highways in the country, especially routes leading to Lagos, Abuja, and parts of the north. And I think of recent, there's even the headline, I'm not sure I opened it, I said it this morning, with bandits demand 100 million for 6 ASPs in Castina's kidnapped den. That is, you can read that headline on the Punch newspaper. Assistant Superintendent of Police captives in Katsina State for over 1 week are demanding 100 million naira ransom for their release. It was gathered that the ASPs were among 9 who were just promoted to their current rank. They were attached to the mobile police Squadron 6, Maiduguri, Borno State. Findings on Wednesday indicated that they were demobilized from a riot unit, and 8 of them were on their way to Zamfara. 8 state police command on transfer when they were ambushed in a particular area in Dongodia of Katsina State and taken to the forest. A reliable police source explained that 9 of the SPs were planning to go to Zamfara State together. One of them changed his mind the last minute while the others embarked on the trip in a commercial bus. But on getting to Kano, the driver was said to have asked them to join another vehicle as his boss had developed the fault, and that was how they got kidnapped. So now that these transporters are saying these things, because the transporters coming from the east, over time we have heard very ugly stories of robbery, kidnapping, killings at some of these junctions. And it is worrying that over time, solutions have not still been brought to these issues.
It's quite unfortunate that these assistant superintendent of police officers are victims of this. But as it is, I think it's going to help the police, the Nigerian people as a whole, because now the police will understand that it is no longer a funny matter. This is a serious matter. If head police officers could be abducted on their way going from one state to another within Nigeria as a country, then there is problem.
Okay.
And don't blame the transporters. You know that so many lives have been lost in the course of this banditry that we are talking about, robbery and adoption here and there.
Yes.
This is not just between the East and Abuja and Lagos. So this is almost everywhere in Nigeria now. Now this is happening because maybe because none of them,
Okay.
especially most of them, it's only their families that have been falling victim. Maybe when they themselves fall victim, maybe they will understand the plight of Nigeria and the pains that we are all going through. You know, you always see that Nigerian government are the kind of people that, I don't know, maybe they prosper. Anyway, they do. Because that's why they could earmark 380 billion for fighting Boko Haram in 2021 budget. You saw it now. And they gave 20 billion to education. So you could see the disparity. There is a place where you can make money and where you cannot make money. But what they are doing is that they are playing with our lives. They are playing with our lives. It's one of the, you see, if they say they want to go on strike, I'm in support. Every Nigerian should be in support. Enough is enough.
If the police wants to go on strike.
No, the bus association.
The bus drivers, okay?
If they want to go on strike, it's good. Let them go on strike.
Because the drivers too are also losing
They are
their
victims.
lives. They are victims.
They are victims.
They have families too.
The companies are victims.
The companies are victims.
The people in the buses are victims. And these are Nigerians. So Nigerians were victims here. So let us all stand up. You see, I've always been saying it. Until we all stand up, Nigeria will not move forward. And you know that
how many percentage of us needs to stand up for us to achieve this?
Look,
because you use the word all is like 100%.
So not all. No. When you say all, it's like in an examination, your score mark. The moment you can have about 50%, that means you have passed. Even 45 is passed.
In schools, yeah.
In schools, it's passed. So if 45% or to 50% of Nigerians, how many percentage rose up and start protest? How many? But you saw what they gained. Now we are talking about Nigerians. If fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters, youth, and old men could stand up, a certain percentage, I'm talking about even 30% of Nigerians, if they could stand up and said, no, we cannot continue this way again, there'll be a change.
All right, we have to wrap up right now. I want to say thank you very much. And like Mr. Ademir said this morning, we all have to stand up together to make this country the country that we all desire it to be. A quick one on the other side of 9 o'clock this morning is going to be the big question. And on the big question this morning, I'm going to have the privilege of speaking. We're going to be talking about what we need to do to better the educational system in Nigeria, tackling issues revolving around education in Nigeria. That's the conversation on the other side of 9 o'clock. Do well to be part of this conversation. Thank you very much, Ademi Adeolu, for joining us today. Yes, my name is Daniel Adaja. See you on the other side of 9.
We are WFM 91.7, the voice of women, using radio as a tool for women development. We condemn the abuse of women, girls, and children in any shape or form. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities? And how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Yes, cavities out!
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Yeah, a new season of the Amazing series is out, and I've been so ready for this moment with lots of data and extra benefits.
Yes, SpectraNet keeps you data ready with lots of data and extra browsing benefits. Enjoy whooping data plans with Do More benefits of over 200 hours of free unlimited night browsing on mega value data plans.
Get lots of data and get your groove back with SpectraNet's value for money plans and go all the way. Look no further. It's all here and all yours. Visit www.spectranet.com.ng for more details.
What more do you need to do more? Data never gets better anywhere else. SpectraNet. Do more.
From Women Radio 91.7, mask up and stay safe. Easing the lockdown is not the end of coronavirus pandemic. If you have to go out, use a face mask that covers your mouth and your nose. Observe physical distancing 6 feet apart if you can. This is the time to think smart. Regularly wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and sanitize. Stay at home if you have no reason to go out. Remember,